Our funding database is constantly being updated with new funding opportunities, specifically grants. Our hope is that this database will assist those in EPA's Region 9 that are interested in seeking environmental and energy justice, or EEJ, funding, and reduce barriers that many organizations face in finding and applying for funding. What kinds of activities are considered to be related to EEJ? There are a broad range of activities related to EEJ. Most of these activities will revolve around reducing pollution, especially in vulnerable populations and areas, installing carbon-neutral equipment in residential and commercial buildings, species conservation, land conservation, workforce development in sustainable energy, and more. How are these funding opportunities organized? We have organized this database by the following categories. Applicant and organization type. Some grants are available only to specific types of organizations. You can search for funding opportunities available to your type of organization, including nonprofits and community-based organizations, which are organizations that do not operate with the purpose of generating a profit. All federal grants will require these organizations be designated as 501c3 organizations by the Internal Revenue Service, while some, but not all, non-federal grants might require this designation as well. Tribal organizations, which is any organization that is controlled by a tribe or is primarily operated by tribal members. Tribal governments, which includes any recognized governing body of a tribe. Local governments, which includes any government body or department controlled by the state. Institutes of higher education, which are educational institutions that offer training or courses at the post-secondary level. And other. This subcategory is used when there are eligible applicants that do not fall into the 6 subcategories above. For example, individuals and for-profit businesses. Application location. Locations where the activities for a specific grant can take place. For example, some grants are only open to organizations in California or Hawaii. Note that if you are an organization that conducts activities in various communities, states, nationwide, etc., you may want to select the location based on where you want your activities to take place. For example, I might represent a nonprofit located in Hawaii. However, projects are nationwide. If I wanted to fund a project for communities specifically in Northern California, I would choose California for the location. Also note, some grants may restrict eligibility to organizations actually located in certain areas. In this previous example, the Hawaii nonprofit would not be eligible for a grant that required applicants to be located in California. Below are the 6 categories within our service area that we use to organize funding opportunities by location: Arizona, California, Hawaii, Nevada, U.S. affiliated Pacific Islands, U.S. and territories. Application deadline. This refers to the date and sometimes hour the application is due. Most often, the application deadline refers to the full application itself. However, some types of funding require that interested parties submit a pre-application or letter of interest before submitting a full application. Application status. This category refers to whether the organization is currently accepting applications or not for this funding. The following are the subcategories you will see in our database. Open, meaning the organization is currently accepting applications. Pending, meaning the organization is not currently accepting applications, but the organization will open the application in the near future. Rolling, ongoing. This is for grant opportunities that open yearly or more than once a year. These grant opportunities will have deadlines that change. For example, a particular grant that is rolling or ongoing might have a deadline of May 5th, 2024. Once this deadline passes, the next deadline might be October 5th, 2024, and so on. How do I use this database? You can use one of our 4 pre-filtered funding lists or customize your search right from the very start, and you can use all the categories together to create your own funding list. Our pre-filtered funding lists are lists that have restricted the funding opportunities listed from our database by a single category, such as organization type or location. For example, one list is funding for only organizations based in Arizona. By clicking on this pre-filtered list, you can see all of the funding opportunities in our database that an organization located in Arizona is eligible to apply for. After clicking on one of these pre-filtered funding lists, you will still be able to further customize your search by the remaining searchable categories. Note that our database also has a sort by feature. You can use this to organize the list of funding opportunities you find by relevance, title, or deadline. To create a custom search, you can choose from certain categories and criteria located towards the top of the Funding Opportunities homepage. As a reminder, you can use the 4 categories of organization type, eligible locations, application deadline, and application status to refine the types of funding opportunities that will be displayed for you. Additionally, you can include a keyword search. For example, if you are interested in water grants, you could include water as a keyword in your search. Now let's take a look at an example. In this example, I represent a nonprofit organization located in Nevada that wants to find funding for conducting activities in the community relating to climate change education and how to be more environmentally conscious. In order to find the relevant grants in our database, I will start with a custom search. Under organization type, I will select nonprofit and community-based organizations. For application deadline, I will select within 6 months because I would like to see both upcoming opportunities and those that we might plan a bit longer for. For application status, I will select open. This way, I will only see grants that are accepting applications. Note that it would be a good idea to do the same search but for application status selecting rolling ongoing, as many of these grants will also be accepting applications. Can you explain the key information given in each funding opportunity? Let's use this top result to answer this question. The first line is the title of the grant opportunity. The following line refers to the agency that is providing the funding for the grant. This is also generally the agency to whom you will submit your application. Eligible entities refers to the types of organizations that are able to apply for this particular grant. The deadline refers to the date when all applications must be submitted, with the green open text box indicating this grant's deadline has not passed yet. Finally, award range refers to the amount of funding that may be requested through this funding mechanism. However, not all grants include minimum or maximum amounts. The clickable box labeled View Summary will provide the grant's description, a link to the grant's webpage, and a More Details link that will lead you to a more detailed view of this particular grant, such as notes written by our grants management specialist, whether this grant requires a cost-shared contribution, and more. How do I apply for a grant that I found in your database? We always include a link that should lead you to more information about the grant, which will include directions for how to submit an application. If you want support with anything related to looking or applying for funding, we can help you for free. Please get in touch. You can find our contact information in the footer of this page. Please note that while we do our best to include as many funding opportunities for energy, environment, and climate justice in EPA's Region 9, our database likely does not include all of these opportunities. We encourage you to try searching other databases as well, such as grants.gov.